Based on the work of Browder and colleagues in 2006, the idea of working it across is a strategy that can be used to help plan instruction for students with significant intellectual disabilities aligned to grade level standards. We're going to take a few minutes here to review the process and create our very own work it across for a science standard. Let's begin. The highlighted portions of this chart are in yellow to bring your attention to the portion of the chart that's being discussed. Let's begin with the very top of the chart. The grade level standard is where we will fill in the state standard that instruction is being planned for. Next, along the top of the chart, there are 3 levels of symbolic communication: abstract, concrete, and pre-symbolic, also referred to as beginning with symbols. The typical expectation is also at the top of the chart. These columns will be used to plan instruction for students that may fall into each of these categories as a means to access the curriculum. Along the side of the column is the planning part of the chart. From the top down, student symbolic use, presentation of content, student performance, and how the activity or lesson will be taught at each level. Now that you can see the chart used to work it across, can you see how this chart can be used to make sure all students with severe disabilities have access but can also demonstrate understanding of a grade level standard in any subject? We're going to start to build our own work it across. Let's get started. We begin planning with the state standard we are creating access to. This one is for a 7th grade science standard, demonstrate an understanding of the Earth's lithosphere. The very first thing that needs to be done before we start to plan for students with significant intellectual disabilities is to know what or how this standard or the standard would be taught to students without disabilities. Remember, the content that we discuss in this slide is highlighted in yellow. So, students on grade level can read or write at or near grade level. They will read content from a textbook. The teacher may present them with a video of the Earth's lithosphere on the smartboard. And they may use a model of the Earth's layer created with graham crackers and frosting. For this student performance, students are expected to demonstrate understanding by identifying what layers of the Earth are and that they're part of the lithosphere, and that the properties of each one of those layers the properties allow them to move. Finally, the activity that students will participate in during the lesson will be a group reading of the textbook passage. They will watch the video and answer questions verbally when the teacher asks them. Using cooperative learning groups, 4 to 5 students in a group will create their model of the Earth and answer specific questions regarding the lithosphere and its movement. Remember, this is the expectation for students that are on grade level. Now that we've started with the grade level expectations, we can start to plan for students with significant intellectual disabilities that will access the curriculum based on alternate achievement standards. Students that access the curriculum at an abstract symbolic level can often read some words, use picture symbols to communicate, and can understand some abstract pictures of concepts. As we plan for students that are participating in this lesson at this level, we will continue to think and refer back to the typical expectations. We want to make sure that we remain linked to grade level expectations so we can have close instructional alignment in content and depth and breadth of learning. Students at an abstract symbolic level will still need to access the textbook that is being read in class, but it may be adapted by either shortening the text or pairing key vocabulary with picture symbols to help students gain meaning to this new vocabulary. Students at an abstract symbolic level can often watch the same video as the students without disabilities. They can use the same models of the Earth's layer, but to help students gain meaning of the model, we may want to pair some picture symbols with some parts of the model. For example, the graham crackers we might want to pair with the picture symbol of layers. For the student performance, students can point to each of the 2 layers of the Earth and name them as the crust and upper mantle. If students need, they may use augmentative communication to name the two layers through the use of a voice output device. When asked, the students can also help move the two plates past each other to demonstrate how plates move. Finally, the activity to teach the skill for a student with an abstract that accesses the curriculum at abstract symbolic level may be to read the same group passage from the textbook with the adaptations, then answer some questions about the video and text. The student may use picture symbol options to respond to each question. Within the cooperative learning groups, students could participate in making a model, but also filling in the blanks of a concept statement regarding the topic. For example, in this lesson, the concept statement may be, "The Earth's layers move." Students could fill in the blank for the layers with either of the vocabulary words or both. Some students with severe disabilities would need more intensive support to participate in this lesson. One key thing to remember is that we don't want to over-adapt our lessons. We'll try to keep our skills and materials as close to the general curriculum as possible. So we will still use the same text, probably adapted. We may need to add a few more picture symbols to help the students gain understanding. The pictures that we use could be picture symbols from a picture symbol software program, or they could be digital pictures or more lifelike. For some concepts, like the Earth's layers, real materials from the Earth, like rocks and sand, may help them build understanding and meaning of what the Earth's crust is. While reading the text, we can use the objects and picture symbols paired with the words to help students read the vocabulary words. We may also want to embed the concept statement into the reading to help students build understanding. We can still keep the video and the model, no need to further adapt those for this population of student. For the student performance, let's keep it the same as abstract symbolic. Because our lesson is very dependent on the actual materials rather than lots of text, we are probably okay just to keep the performance the same. Finally, for this activity, the students may read the passage or text point as other students read. They'll watch the video and fill in the concept statement from a choice of 2 or 3 pictures. In their cooperative learning groups, students can identify parts of the model and match the pictures to them. For example, they could match the picture of layers to the 2 layers that they moved in the experiment. Hopefully this is starting to make sense. Work It Across gives us the option of planning one lesson for all of the learners in our class. We want to think about how all students can participate and they can show what they know. Now, we'll also have students who will not be able to participate in this lesson without further modifications. Students who access the general curriculum, or who access the curriculum at a pre-symbolic level, may use the same text, but we may really need to focus on just a few vocabulary words within the text for comprehension. For example, maybe the words layers or earth. Using materials from the earth or objects, we can pair those with the words while the students are reading in the text. Students will watch the same video and use the same model. Or they could create a model of the top layer only, using real materials from the earth. Don't forget, though, that we want our instruction to be aligned with the curriculum. We will not always be able to have complete performance alignment. We will have alternate achievement. So for this population of students, the layers of the earth may just be too abstract. Understanding that the earth has layers and what layers make up the top layer may be appropriate at this time for this student. Next, the student performance for students at this pre-symbolic level may be to identify the materials of the earth from non-materials. For example, you may want to show them rocks versus beads or marbles or something similar. Using the model that the entire class has made, students could be able to move the layers when asked to move the Earth's plates, showing understanding between the word plates and the materials that you're using, or layers. This skill may demonstrate that the student understands that the model represents the Earth's plates and show understanding that the Earth's plates move under the ground. Finally, the activity that all students have participated in was the reading of the science text. Our students will do this too. They will watch the video and fill in the concept statement to show understanding of the big idea, the Earth's the Earth's layers move. All students, including those who access the curriculum at this level, will participate in the cooperative learning groups. They may need to be paired with a paraprofessional or a peer to participate. The point of this activity is to demonstrate how all students can participate in this standard with true learning objectives and still remain aligned to the general curriculum at grade level content standard.